Go.
Good morning. This is the follow-up video for the Fluidity afternoon, Sunday, February 3rd. And it's for all of you who are there and anyone who's ever taken Fluidity Power and Release in Sacramento, and for anybody who opens the YouTube channel, obviously. But I'm going to sequence the techniques that we did in a logical order, so it's a little different than the order that we did in the workshop. And of course, your dancing in between is your call. These are the roller and ball things that we did to encourage looseness in the body, looseness in the connective tissue, looseness in the muscles and the joints. So your roller, whatever density you choose, I have a 3-footer here. You can do it with the 1-footer, but make sure it's the right density for you so it hurts good. And you might start right in the neck, in this first cervical curve, and just get that whole ridge of the skull. And you can even let your chin come down to your chest. And you can just work on either side of the neck. We'll get into this more deeply in the release workshop, but the roller is a good first scanning tool. So use it wisely up in this region. Don't overdo it, but boy, I could stay here for another 10 minutes. But I'm gonna move through fairly quickly. You can pause your video and work on something for quite a while if you'd like. This is gonna be very, very rapid fire. Find the bottom tips of the shoulder blades, and you're gonna work the whole area of the shoulder blades. Support your head completely in your hands. This is so important. 12 pounds of a head. Don't use the front neck muscles to hold up. This takes a little practice. And this rolling technique right here just really opens the heart and gets us out of that computer position. Let the elbows fly open and the head come back if that feels good. Less aggressive, but also more access to the ribs, elbows closed, chin tucked, right like that. After you finish that area, then you want to be able to get these last 5 ribs, and you're going to do that curled up. So same thing, bottom tips of the shoulder blades, but now we're going to go south of that. So you stay curled up by leaving your hands here or keeping your hands here. But see how my heart is higher than my hips? It's the only way to do this. So that's the whole back of the rib cage. Notice how I can float the knees to the right or the left. Up here in the shoulder blades, same thing. I can float the knees to the right or to the left. In this upper rib cage, in this upper heart basket, it's really good to, at some point, let the hips come down and get the back of the shoulder blade. You'll do this on both sides. You'll see me just doing this on the left, but that's the back of my left shoulder blade. And then I'm going to let my knees fall to the ground, let my elbow come to the ground, support my head and my hands, and really get into this armpit. Not rolling so much as more of a back and forth motion. And then even the front of the chest can be very juicy, lots of stuff living in there. You can pause anywhere where you feel like, oh boy, right there, I need to spend a little bit more time. See what you can shift in this whole rib cage, heart basket area. After we've covered that, then we nestle that roller into the small of the back. Take a deep breath in and just land on your shoulder blades and work the waist. So this is above the pelvic bone and below the rib. And usually there's some nuggets, one side maybe more than the other. Don't feel like you have to do the same thing on both sides. After you work with that a little bit, let the roller come into behind the hips in the sacrum. Rock and roll around and really get that whole area loosened up. See what feels good. And then we did a few leg stretches here. You can stretch your psoas out. We're going to get into that much more in the power in March. Really lengthening out through here. Maybe adding an arm in. You're going to do that on both sides. You can stretch your hip rotators by putting an ankle up on the thigh and maybe reaching through and drawing in for good sensation right here, rocking back and forth on the sacrum, really feeling for stretch right here. And then hamstrings, it's good to do them both at once, get some good length through here, or maybe you just want to do one at a time, right? You can also stretch your inner thigh, legs out straight like this, or a little less pressure, knee bend, to get a good stretch in here. So Those are just 4 nice ways to lengthen these big muscles that attach to the hips. Easiest way out is like this. And then you're poised to do the legs. You want to work with the front of the thighs. On the forearms is the easiest. Avoid this. We're going to work more with that core in March, but draw it up and in and stay solid in there. Sometimes it feels good to go over the hip bones and into the belly. And then when you want to get the outside of the leg, press your hand down and just start to work more. Right now I'm working more the outside of the left leg. I'm kind of in between the front and the side because there's plenty of stuff here. You want to go all the way to the knee, all the way to the hip. Eventually, you can maybe create a little tripod here and really get into the side of the leg, really pausing anywhere where you need it. Ultimately, this is not uncomfortable. You could stack both legs and just roll away someday. Hopefully, we'll see how that happens. Now, after this, you can come right up and over those knees and get into the shins on either side. Super helpful to go all the way to the ankle and release in there. After you've done that to both sides, you might step back like this, curl your toes under, and stretch the bottom of the foot out. You can also release the roller if you want a little bit more stretch. And you can also stretch the front of the ankle if you just pause down here, rest. So for some people, this is plenty of a stretch. And you can rest here, but for some of you might want to lift the knees and get a really good stretch in the front of the ankle. So different ideas of things to do for releasing with the roller. A good start. We also played a little bit with the balls, just a little, just to kind of introduce them. We used a Pokeball and then I had tennis balls. This is a racquetball. You can use anything that you want. Pokeball, what we did was really work with the inside border of the shoulder blade. So you could just get that ball right there in that upper notch. It's where we massaged each other also. And you can just be here for a long time, just releasing that muscle. Be awesome, but you can also work down the shoulder blade, bit by bit. The more I lean onto the ball, the more pressure, but I can stay way over here, right? So you can do that with a tennis ball or a Pokeball. We also worked with, the possibility of doing the same thing in the armpit. It's there, there's plenty to work on there. And then this area up here, this suboccipital area, you could get with the Pokeball or any ball just by nestling the ball into the ridge of the skull. That's the main stuff that we did. We did stand up at the end and use the Pokeball on the feet before we started moving, so that's always fun. Any kind of ball you want to do there. Those are the basic techniques for loosening that we covered, and I'm looking forward to continuing our journey in March because it will really be about, what's going on deep in this core? How can I release, especially psoas, and find it for power deep in the core? Very subtle and dynamic work, and the way that it moves us into our dance really brings us into that rhythm of staccato. So thanks for listening, thanks for practicing, and I'll see you soon. More information on the website about the 3-part series. You're welcome to come to number 2 and 3, even if you weren't at 1, because we'll do a full review of what I just showed you in March. Bye.